to employ, our contractors are required to utilize at least 50% of all labor hours with Chicago residents. So this is important because it not only increases the number of the local workforce, but also it puts wages into the local workforce. So city residents are actually earning money on city projects. Another requirement under ordinance, and this is 292-330 of the Municipal Code of Chicago, is a requirement that contractors utilize at least 7.5% of all labor hours by project area residents. Okay, we have the slides up. Okay, here we go. And these are the ordinances that I was just talking about, the requirements. So, as I mentioned, there's the city resident requirement, which is 50% of the total labor hours, and the project area requirement, which is 7.5% of all labor hours. So, as I mentioned, this is required by ordinance, and this is all construction contracts with an estimated value of $100,000 or more. So, with respect to the project area requirements, this isn't something you just have to guess what the project area is. In all bid packages, there will be a map or a description that will tell you what the zones are for the project area, and that's the area that you need to hire from to hit the 7.5% requirement. So I'm going to talk about, we're having some technical difficulties here. So next I'm going to talk about some of our incentives. So first I'm going to talk about our local business preference ordinance. So in 2012, an ordinance was passed that created a bid incentive for utilizing city-based businesses. So this is a tiered incentive. There's a 2%, 4%, and 6%. These apply to city-funded contracts that are with an estimated value of $100,000 or more. So the way incentives work, or bid preferences work, is if you're eligible for this and you apply for it and we determine that you can be awarded this incentive, we will give an artificial price reduction to your bid. So for example, if you are eligible for a 2% incentive and you're bidding $1 million on a project, when evaluating bids, we'll reduce your bid by 2%. So we're comparing your bid will be $980,000, but if you're awarded the contract, the value of your contract will actually be $1 million. So getting into the specifics of the city-based business incentive with the 3 tiers I mentioned, with the 2% tier, you are eligible if you're a city-based business, which means you conduct your day-to-day business operations at a facility located at the city, which is the place of employment for the majority of your full-time employees. The 4% incentive is if you're a city-based business, and in addition to that, at least 50% of your employees are city residents. And then building on that for 6%, you're eligible for it if the majority of those residents live in socioeconomically disadvantaged areas. So the City of Chicago will include a map of socioeconomically disadvantaged areas in all the bid packages so you can see what areas count. And you can also, if you're interested in applying for this bid incentive, there is a website on the City of Chicago's website that you can go to, and you can enter in the addresses of your employees to see if they count towards this incentive. So you can't get all 3 together. It is 2, 4, or 6%. But this is a great incentive for our city-based businesses. The next incentive I would like to talk about is our Equal Employment Opportunity Incentive. So this is an incentive that it applies to construction contracts with an estimated value of $100,000 or more. And the purpose of this incentive is to encourage our contractors to utilize minority and women journey workers, apprentices, and laborers. The way this is awarded is it's based off of an award criteria figure, which is a formula that is calculated using a chart that's included in the bid package. So you will make a commitment to utilize certain percentages of minorities and women, journey workers, laborers, and apprentices. And then based on that, we will reduce your bid based on your different commitments to utilize these different groups and categories of workers. So the maximum percentage allowed for this incentive is 15% female workers and 70% minority workers for this particular incentive. And one important change that happened about 2 years ago is contractors can receive 150% credit towards their commitment for each labor hour that's worked by employees from socioeconomically disadvantaged areas. So again, those areas are identified in a map, and you can find out on our website if the addresses of your employees count within those areas. Just ignore the clicker. So one other incentive I'm going to talk about, and so there's two different incentives I'm going to briefly touch on, one after the other. And these are incentives that are for utilizing certain types of apprentices. So the first one is an apprenticeship utilization incentive. So through this incentive, you can earn up to 1% bid incentive on a future bid. So how you earn this is a bidder has to agree to sponsor an apprenticeship training program, and the apprentices have to be enrolled in or graduated from a construction technology training program administered by city colleges, or the apprentices have to have graduated from a CPS high school.